Let's go and see some of those dog walkers when they come in. Oh, thank you, y'all. Appreciate it. Welcome to Metron. Happy New Year. Are y'all aware that it's the year 2026? How is that possible? How are we not flying around in spaceships with George Jetson? It feels like Christmas was 10 minutes this year. It passed as a thief in the night. Where's everybody going?
Yeah, we're going to try and do filming.
Are y'all mad at Ken?
In fact, he can sit here too. It's kind of hard.
Well, I know, but now I'm in balance. Now
This is the holiness side, so we'll do cigarettes and drinking, because we don't do it over on the bright side.
this is where the motherboard sits.
Yes.
Welcome and Happy New Year. Those of you who are logging on, welcome. We are grateful. Come on in, please. Somebody sit with Ken. He's a good guy.
Yes, he is.
Just give him a chance. Yeah, so I don't know if Voltaire makes you feel weird, but let me just tell you, don't brush your teeth with it.
No, not a good idea.
Anyway, we are grateful to have made it to another year. We're grateful to have come through a holiday season and that it's January. And so far, it's been a good year. Ken and I have walked, Eddie, every single day of this year. Every day. We have not missed a day. I hate to brag. So we were walking yesterday. I said, only 363 to go. Yeah, we do. We went downtown where the old place yesterday. It was cool. That Center for Civil and Human Rights is such a cool building. That's our well, that was our building. But anyway, they've done like a huge renovation to it, added on. It's really. Metron did an event there years ago. We should go back again. It's really cool. Yeah, it's open now. That's where my voting precinct is. I always love voting over there. The day we were there with Metron, they've got a exhibition of the Freedom Riders, and while we were there, those original people came in to see the exhibition, and so that was really, really cool. Anyway, but yes, it's good. Well, Michelle, you're on your game today. Now I'm wanting to challenge you and to say something. How quick can Michelle have? I just think it and it manifests on the screen. But yeah, it was a beautiful day. It's interesting with the passing of my uncle, and I'll say more about that later. It's I don't know. It's strange. I'm feeling not bad, just everything feels very heightened and very time aware, and more than anything else, really want to make every day count. You know what I mean? It's like we were New Year's Day. We went to cafeteria close by, and BJ and Joe were there with some friends. Ran into them. And it was as we're standing in line, I looked at the memories, and exactly 2 years earlier, I had taken Dawn and Clarice and LaDonna and Mom and Don there. We were eating nearly at the same table, and and I said, how would you've ever known 2 years from today, you won't be here? And it's not. I don't mean it in a depressing way. It's just I've used the word sober lately, and it's not a bad word. It means you're serious about life, but you're not. But life's wonderful, and where it's moving me to is make everything count. You know, it's like even yesterday when we left the. We're looking at the building. There's a Starbucks over there on Centennial Park. We walked over there, and there's a way that the grass smelled. We were walking on. It just a very familiar. It just smelled good and familiar, and my senses, my spidey senses, are very. Like I just stopped for a second. It was smelling the grass. I don't want to lose that. I want to carpe every diem, and. This is the day that the Lord and us are making, and we rejoice and are glad in it. Let's say the Lord's Prayer, and then you may be seated, and I'll think of something to say. Our Father who art in heaven, presence of divine love and light that lives within us and within all of life, hallowed be thy name. We invoke the powerful creative nature of all that is sacred and holy. Thy kingdom come. We embrace the healing essence that is the kingdom of heaven within us. Thy will be done. We accept our greatest good as we align with our divine nature, on earth as it is in heaven, knowing that the affairs of our lives reflect our evolving consciousness. Give us this day our daily bread. Each day we receive great blessings from within and throughout all the activities of our lives. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. We accept the divine nature of all things and all people, including ourselves, as we move away from judgment and toward greater awareness of divine presence. And lead us not into temptation. We shall be vigilant in expressing and experiencing the oneness with all life. But deliver us from evil as we are learning to live without fault-finding and suffering. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. For we accept the consciousness of divine perfection with all its power and glory right here, right now, and forever. Amen. And so it is. Tell the person next to you, if there is a person sitting next to you, that you're glad they're here, then you may be seated. You know what? I never told you. You asked me yesterday if we had an outreach. I didn't even think. I'll have it next week. We'll get it. I'll have to think about it. You know, we've postponed our number 28. I'm assuming those of you who already had reservations have taken care of that, and it's all good. It's fine. We will do it again at a certain point, and if you are interested, the service from my Uncle Don will be this coming Saturday. I'm doing part of it. And it's going to be at Spirit and Truth Sanctuary at 11 o'clock. And it was a very interesting week because, you know, my Aunt Clarice was very close to Richard Smallwood. And he also passed. So I texted LaDonna. I said, did you hear Richard Smallwood died? And she said, yeah, I haven't even told my mom yet. I don't think she can handle it. But she did. I noticed later she'd written there's a video I shared. It was years ago when my Uncle Earl was still alive. He called Smallwood up. Smallwood wrote the song Total Praise at the cathedral, so they have a lot of connection there. Or he wrote while he was there. And Clarice and he sat down at the piano and just improvised the Lord's Prayer, both of them play, and it really is. I was noticing on YouTube, it's got like close to 100,000 views on it. It's very cool. So it was a lot.
Is that a good key?
Yeah.
What?
No,
Is that a good key?
yeah. That was something they were playing at the house. It was on YouTube. I shared it last week. It's fine. I mean, if you can find it, that's fine. But it's cool. See, I stumped you. Like when Johnny Carson used to play Stump the Band.
I don't see where I put it.
No, that was Clarice played. It was interesting. DE shared something that Don wrote just a few months ago, on that post, and he was talking about I'm ready to go, and what happened to him. For one thing, he's diabetic and has been for years, and he does not eat like a diabetic is supposed to eat. I mean, I've seen him eat sugar with an insulin shot. It's just, and so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. But about 3 months ago, he fell and broke his arm, which usually that wouldn't be life-threatening, but he just shut down after that. Like he didn't want to do physical therapy. He just kind of willed himself out, and so I mean, it's definitely sad. I've been more emotional over him than I was over my dad, because I just had kind of a different relationship with him. We were very simpatico and on the same page about stuff. And when I was a kid, I loved going to Don and Clarice's house. They were they were just open to, they were open to a lot of things my parents were not open to. And when I was young, Jesus Christ Superstar came out. My parents thought that was really blasphemous and it was forbidden to watch it. Well, Don and Clarice had an album, and I think I still have it. I never even returned it. That kind of stuff, and I'll save the stuff I'm going to say about him for Saturday. But anyway, he went peacefully, and at a certain point, I felt the same way about Dr. Sheila. When somebody's in a certain place that you can tell this isn't going to get any better, then they need to go on. On Thanksgiving Day, when we went to see Doc at the hospital, and I saw her in that IC unit and hooked up to everything, I was like, oh, she would hate this so much. And so I said, Doc, go on and be at peace. So I will say, well, maybe I'll save this for my teacher, because it may factor into that in some way. But thank you for caring about it, and it's part of life. But if everybody could just, if I could go for just a few weeks without important people in my life passing, I would appreciate it. If anybody's planning on checking out, could you just please wait? Just give me a couple of weeks to get my bearings. I would appreciate it. But anyway, anybody have any good news you want to share for the new year? Did you have a good New Year's? We did. We had a good New Year's Eve. I mean, quiet. Our good New Year's Eve now is going to eat early and going back home. And he had already crashed, and I'm looking at like, you've got to wake up and watch the ball drop in Times Square. So, I was giving him warnings. I said, you've got 7 minutes, 5 minutes. Finally, Lazarus come forth. And he got you got to greet the new year.
Do you know what my good news is?
Yes, what?
New year, I'm optimistic. Even with everything that we see
Yeah.
going on in the world around us, something in my spirit
Yeah,
is optimistic. For
Same.
this year. For
Same.
this year. That I feel, I don't know, I just feel lighter, like I'm going to be fine. And not only am I going to be fine, I'm going to thrive.
amen.
I'm going to enjoy this day the Lord has
Yes.
made. I'm going to enjoy this year.
Here.
There's going to be things that's going to happen to us in the year ahead that's going to make us smile from ear to ear, make us feel deep joys of love, to be around people we love.
Yes, sir.
I'm optimistic for the year ahead.
Can I take this microphone? No, you're right, and I do too. I do too. Yes, I do too.
We not have to bury a few people along the way. We just get on up and go on.
Yeah.
It's a part of life.
Yeah,
And I even thought about with Pastor Don transition. You just said a week or so ago, so the veil's real.
Yeah. exactly.
He said adios.
Well, interestingly, when was it later that day? I guess I can't remember, but I had asked Mom. I said, "Do you want to go over there?" Because I had taken her over there last Saturday night and to sort of say an official goodbye, and it was he was unconscious. It was what it was. She didn't want to go. Well, Adana, y'all remember Dana and Hannah that have catered for us. They just had a new grandbaby, and so that day, Clarice and LaDonna went over to see the baby. She texted and said, "Is it okay if we come by on our way back in?" I said, "Oh yeah, please do," because I feel like she needs to acknowledge her twin brother died, and and so they came over, and we were talking about that because right now, Mom is seeing so many people in the house. I don't necessarily think it's hallucinating. I think the veil is thin. And while we were sitting there, I asked, because we were talking about it, just talking about, because Don saw somebody right just hours before, when he did speak a little bit before he left, and he saw a man standing he didn't recognize him, but he saw a man standing in the room. And I had told, while we were sitting there, I said, "Mom, do you remember last week you tried to leave the house at 3 o'clock in the morning?" And she did not remember. She said, "What happened?" I said, "You got your purse and your phone, and you were turning lights on. And when I asked you where you're going, you said those people in the living room told me it's time to go." And I said, "Do you remember that?" And she had no recollection of it. But it wasn't bad. I wasn't like embarrassing her. I really wanted to know, like, are these people you recognize? What's going on? But yes, the veil is very thin.
And for all we know, Don might be going to come back for her.
Easily.
That might be how it works on that other side.
Easily.
You know.
Easily. I mean, they came in together, they could go out together. And I think maybe that's why she is unusually quiet, because I think she's dealing with her own. But I want to say more about that, but let me save it to be on the podcast, because I think it's important. And it's where we're all living right now. I mean, we just are. You know what? I'm not going to do a meditation this morning. Let's just get into it. If that's okay. Welcome to the Metron Live podcast, coming to you from the Atlanta Theater in, where are we? What neighborhood is this? Kirkwood. Yeah. Why is it called Kirkwood? Who was Kirk? And what was going on?
He chopped wood and everything.
How much wood could a Kirkwood? Okay. Anyway, as always, thank you, Charles McFall. Metron people, please welcome the podcast people with your applause. Hello, hello. I am going to do a series this month, and I'll introduce you to it in a moment. But I want to say that the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach liberty to the captives, the opening of the prison of them that are bound,
Come on.
to declare the acceptable day of the Lord, year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God, and to point unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. I have the tongue of the learned. The gifts and callings of God are without repentance. And I am walking in my calling today, and what I say will make a positive difference in the lives of people who hear it. And all of us together are salting the earth and lighting the world. My title for this series is The Time of Your Life, Harmonizing the Chronos with the Kairos for Optimal Manifestation. Hey. A few years back, I did a whole series. There's two different words in Greek that were translated to the word time. One is the word chronos, C-H-R-O-N-O-S. It's where we get the word chronology, chronological. It has to do with literal, like clocks and watches and calendars and days and months. even our concept of a new year, it's really a perception. It's set up on the Roman calendar. I don't want to get in the weeds all about that, but time is a thing. Kairos, Kairos, is a different kind of thing. It has to do with opportune time. Like when Jesus came to Lazarus' tomb 4 days after Lazarus died and had said that it was not a sickness unto death, he had missed his window of Chronos time. It was too late. The sister met him and said, "You should have been here. My brother's already decomposing now. It's too late." And his response to her was, "I'm the resurrection and the life," meaning I'm going to raise him in Kairos time, not in Chronos time. Which there's such a truth to that. Someone just this week, who's probably watching today, wrote me and reminded me of something that had happened years ago. And she said, "I don't know why I'm thinking about this. I just want to remind you of it." And it was timely. Come on, Angie. I remember, this is back when at Church in the Now, there was some debt that something that we owed that needed to be paid by December 31st. And it was a pretty big chunk of change. I don't even remember what it was for now. And, December 31st came and went, and we didn't pay it. We didn't have it. And, I mean, it was nearly 2 weeks into the new year. Somebody stopped by who was a local businessman who did not go to Church in the Now. I don't even remember if he ever visited, but every once in a while he would make a significant contribution. And so he stopped by the church one day and he said, I need to give you all this money. And it was the amount that we needed. And he said, the only thing is, what's the opposite of post-date? Pre-date? He said, can you make this I said, I need this to show on my taxes for last year. Can you count that for December 31st? And I said, yeah, I can do that. And then I remember another time, years before that, I had a house in Stone Mountain, but I bought the first house in Conyers. And the way that we had done, y'all remember Mario Orsini? Mario had helped me work out some kind of financing with. I'm still not sure what we did, but whatever it was like I made a mortgage payment, but every 3 months he had something. I can't explain it to you. It was a way that I don't know. But every 3 months there was another thing you had to pay. And I had all of it except for $500, which, now at this point, $500, but back then, $500 was a heck of a lot of money. And I didn't have it. I had no place to get it from. And the guy that had our mortgage came to my front door and he said, I need the money. I said, I have all of it but $500. I said, can you give me a couple hours? He said, I'm going to give you in a Monday morning, but I have to have this money. While I'm talking to him, my phone rings, and it's a guy who used to go to my dad's church years ago that I barely remembered. And he said, my dad died. Do you mind, can you come to the funeral? And I'm holding the phone while I'm talking to the guy saying I owe him $500. And I said, okay. He says, just a graveside. I said, when is it? He said, Sunday morning. I said, oh man, Sunday morning. It had to be early Sunday morning for me, because it was in West End, for me to get all the way over there and get back to Conyers. He said, my dad thought a lot of you. Would you do it? I said, okay. He said, it'll just take a few minutes. I said, oh, okay, that's fine. And so I hung up the phone and I said, I'll have you the money by Monday. I don't know where I'll get it from, but I'll have it. And most of the people that I've done, not most of them, I've done lots of funerals for people at Conyers that did not pay me. And I think they just forget or whatever. I don't know if Jack and Jackie are watching. They go to they live in a retirement place now, so it's too far away for them to come. But they took us to lunch a few months ago. They gave me a large donation. I said, what's this for? They said, we want to go and pay you for our funerals when we go because so many people don't pay you. And we don't want to, I said, well, y'all aren't going anytime soon, are you? They said, no, but we just want to make sure you get paid. I'm like, y'all are amazing. Thank you. And so anyway, I drive over there. And as I'm driving that morning, I thought, why did I agree to do this? I should have just said, I don't have time to get over there. Anyway, I literally got out of the car, said the Lord's Prayer, sang a verse of how great thou art, and said, I'm sorry, I got to go. God bless you, whatever. He handed me an envelope. I said, thank you. I opened it. It was $500. And that's more than I've ever been paid for a funeral, except for what Jackie gave me. And sure enough, I had that money on Monday morning. And so when you start thinking about things like that, you think, well, Chronos, you're not bound to Chronos time. Kairos time, I hate that I can't use the word Trump now in this. Kairos time trumps Chronos time. It wins over. It prevails over. And, you know, I've been thinking about this anyway, but then, of course, with the passing of my uncle a few hours ago, I'm thinking about time and life. And interestingly, as I'm preparing this yesterday, my whole point of this is live this new year in Kairos time. You have to be aware of Chronos time, but don't be bound to it. So the whole purpose of this series is to get you out of the mindset of being bound by deadlines. And, you know, Jesus can raise Lazarus 4 days after he died. You hear me? So yesterday we were going to drive downtown, and as we left, I usually, you know, I always wear my Apple Watch, and I love an Apple Watch. Part of the reason I wear it is because I'm always on call as a caretaker. And, you know, my mom's at home and doesn't have a car. And if she, I mean, I'm probably too vigilant, but I'm just so aware that I could be buzzed at any minute. I mean, y'all know I've been buzzed while I've been teaching. So I don't mind it. In some sense, it helps me relax because I'm not just looking at my phone every minute. But it is also it's stressful. Because every time it buzzes, I'm like, oh, Lord, what? And then sometimes it'll be somebody just gave you money on PayPal. I'm like, yay, that's a good buzz. But yesterday we were leaving, and Ken doesn't always do this, but on occasion, there'll just be a way he says something in an off-the-cuff way that just feels prophetic. And we were going out the door. I said, Mom, we'll be back later. I'll bring you dinner tonight. We're going to be gone for a few hours. We're backing out. I said, oh, man, I was charging my phone. I forgot it. My watch. I forgot to get it. I need to run up and get it. And he said, you don't need it. And it felt prophetic. To me, it was, I don't think, he was just saying, don't run back up there. You'll be fine without it. But what I heard is, you know what? You're right. I'm too aware of it. You have to function in Chronos time, but you have to, what did Jesus say? You're in the world, not of it. I'm in Chronos time, but not of it. It's never too late. You hear me? Even if you're past the deadline, the thing can still happen for you. Okay? I've shown you both these verses on many occasions. I just love the way that they're translated in the Amplified Classic, and I'm going to share them with you again. Let me show you. The first is Ecclesiastes 3. That's when Solomon was saying to everything there is a season and a purpose to everything, and it's true. It's a beautiful passage in the Scriptures. This is verse 11 in the Amplified. It says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." When somebody says, "Are you in grief over your uncle passing. Not I mean, yes, but I'm relieved that what they've been dealing with for the last 3 months is over. So in that sense, his passing was beautiful in its time. I mean, you felt that with your mom. You know, you miss her, you're relieved for her. You feel it's a yes and, it's not an either or. Those of you that have lost loved ones, I'm sure the holidays were a challenge for you. Would you want them back in the condition they were? Absolutely not. So you feel two things. It's like it's a sad relief. It's beautiful in its time. When Paul said, I've fought the fight, I've finished my course, that's him saying, I've made peace with my life, and I'm ready to go whenever. That's a beautiful thing. On the other hand, when I see a young person die senselessly, that's not beautiful to me. It seems like, no, and that's why you got to watch it, have me at your funeral, because I don't say the things that preachers are supposed to say. You know, when a teenager dies in a car accident, I just can't say God had a purpose. I'm like, no, this is horrible. I hate this happened. God will get you through it, but I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. Don't tell me God needed another rose in his garden, because that's just going to make me feel worse. It's going to make that parent think, why do you need my rose? He's made everything beautiful in its time. He also has planted eternity in men's hearts. Kairos is eternal time. It's time out of time. A divinely implanted sense of a purpose working through the ages, which nothing under the sun but God alone could satisfy. Yet so that men cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. In other words, it's the concept of I am. Not I will be or I was. I am is Kairos. I was is Chronos. You know, if you have relationships, I talked to Howie yesterday. I said, 2026 is the Jubilee year of our friendship. It's our golden anniversary. We've known each other 50 years now. I said, I hadn't even thought of that. And if you have someone in your life that knew you then and knows you now and knows every version of you, that's huge. Because there's some people that knew you back in the day, they don't know who you are now. I got my teacher that I'm friends with, we went to their house Christmas Eve. And I've never met her son. Years ago, I brought them a baby gift when I was home from college because she was pregnant. And they only have one child, and he's in his late 30s now, has 2 children of his own, but I've never met him. So he was down for this party, so I met him, and we didn't really, he didn't know his mom in 1974. So I have we didn't have anything to talk about. And we met him. I'm glad to finally meet you. And he did acknowledge. Remember I told you that thing where one of his sons lost the stuffed animal and Olivia had left that very same thing at my house a decade ago? That was definitely, if not a miracle adjacent. And so we met, and it was okay. And we, so you're Will, I've heard a lot about you. Okay. And then, bye. But then a couple of days later, he sent me a friend request on Facebook, and 3 days ago, he sent me this message. He said, I've been meaning to send this to you. And it was just, it was everything. He said, I just want to thank you so much for being a friend of my mom. You have no idea how timely it is. And he said, we were just sitting at the table talking about how lucky we are that you've come back into her life. And it was just, I don't know, it just meant everything. And I screenshot it, because, Howie was a teacher for 30 years, and he's always so happy when he ever meets one of his students, and still has some relationship with them. And, he's the one that really encouraged me to get back in touch with her. I said, I don't know if it's, He said, no, I'm telling you, it'll be meaningful to her to do it. So I screenshot what Will had sent me. I said, look at this. I said, it made my day. He said, it should have made your year. I said, well, it kind of did. And those full circle relationships that you have, I have them with y'all now. I mean, I could sit here and talk about all kind of things that I have history with y'all that matters to me. And we've all lived long enough that I've seen you in the year 2026. I mean, I don't know who in here has known me the longest, but most of y'all have known me a minute. What if I had said when I met you, how many years ago did I marry you in memory?
About 25 years ago.
What if I had said, hey, Wellington, a quarter of a century from now, you're not going to believe all the stuff that's going to happen between now and then, but you'll still be in my life and we'll be at this place. I mean, it would nearly seem impossible to believe. And, as you get older, those relationships become very treasured, It's great to meet new people. Yeah, that's great. I'm always open to that. But man, those people that have hung with you for a while and they know where all the bodies are buried. And they've kept your secrets and they've loved you unconditionally. And man, if you got that, whew, that's a lot. We ran into BJ and Joe New Year's Day. They were with another couple. Well, I'm very off the cuff with them. Like when I'm just with BJ and Joe, I mean, I just say anything. I don't care. I mean, I just do. I have no filters. And so I was over at the table saying a bunch of stuff that later I thought, I probably shouldn't have been saying all that in front of these people they've never met. If I walk away from the table and they say that was our pastor, I'll be like, I was not very pastoral. And it was bugging me. I texted BJ. I said, I hope I wasn't too free around you. He said, I don't know. All my friends are just like us. I said, okay, good. But it's a pearl of great price when you've got people in your life who actually know the real you and that you don't have to be false with. That means everything. I've shared this with you before, but some of the guys I went to college with who now are ministers in Assembly of God churches, if I've ever run into them, they seem so different. There's a preacher affectation that they have that's so weird because it's not the way they used to talk. And it's things like, hey, Brother Jim, how you doing? What's God saying to the church? I'm like, who are you? Like, what the heck? But that's what's required in that world. You become preacher-like, and I just never could do it. It's just too weird to me. Because authenticity means everything. The next one is a few verses down. This is verse 15. That which is now already has been, and that which is to be already has been. And God seeks that which has passed by so that history repeats itself. What that says to me is, if a thing keeps happening to you, you keep finding yourself in a same situation, there's clearly something you're supposed to learn that you haven't learned yet. I mean, if you've been going around Sinai for 40 years, it might be time for an epiphany. And that's why when I find myself in situations that I don't like, which happens, I have to continually say, all right, what am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be learning? What is this supposed to be working out in me? Because sometimes the thing that you resist does persist. And it's persisting for a reason. Through many dangers, toils, and snares you have already come. And I will say this, but I'm just going to show you some memes, and then I'm going to let you out of here. But Avery texted yesterday. She wasn't sad. We all have rituals. Avery always sends me, the shout out's ready, and I always look at it and I always say, great, thanks. And, it's nearly like an autopilot. When she sent it yesterday, I'm like, good Lord, is it Saturday again? I mean, I said it feels like one of those montages in a movie that show the passage of time, and it's like, it's Saturday, it's Saturday, it's Saturday, it's Saturday. Like, wow. And then she texted, she said, how are you? And I was driving, so I called, I said, I'm fine. But we ended up talking. I said, this is kind of where I'm at with this whole thing with Dawn passing. And with Doc passing. And so, and even people close to me who are, they're in the valley of the shadow of death. I mean, they just are. And I said, let me tell you, this is where I'm at. David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you comfort me. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And I said, where I'm being intentional right now, because the valley of the shadow of death has been very noisy lately. And it's gotten a lot of my attention. To the point that you start overthinking stuff. Every pain that you have, I'm like, oh. Remember when Fred Sanford would say, Elizabeth, I'm coming. This is the big one. And there's kind of especially after a certain age, there's kind of a truth to it. It's like, is this it? And, for aging, I was telling Louisa this the other day because I call periodically because I'll just say this, it's a miracle that she's made it to 2026. She's been through some stuff. So I talked to her recently. I said, what's the latest? I haven't heard back from your PET scan and all that, just catch me up on everything. So she was, but she's got a very dark sense of humor. So everything horrible things she's telling me, she's laughing while she says, I said, you're horrifying me with what you're saying. Why are you laughing? She goes, because it's so insane. I'm like, okay, it is insane. But I said, when you get older, it's kind of like your body, like there's this flip chart that nature keeps offering you these possibilities. Like you wake up one morning and, wow, there's excruciating pain in my right foot. Do I call the doctor over this? And, there's so many things. I don't know if y'all are like this, but I'll have something for a couple of days and it'll hurt like hell. And then I'm like, oh, I guess this too shall pass. And, it's like, no, thank you. I don't want the pain. How about this? How about the left side of your body being numb? I'm like, no, thank you. Like, well, how about this? What about your eyesight? I'm like, good God. I think, is that what nature does, is finally wears you down till you pick one? Like, all right, I'll take that one.
Oh my God.
But doesn't it feel that way sometimes? You wake up and like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I've never felt that before. Should I Google that? Do I need to call a doctor? I don't want to overreact to everything, but that's interesting. That's never hurt before. Like, why is that hurting? And it can become comical in a sense. But what I said to her yesterday, I said, this is what I'm prophesying to myself. I'm moving my attention away from the valley of the shadow of death and putting it on the rod and staff. That's what matters. Death is real, but the rod and the staff are real as well. And he says, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. It's good to be comforted. When we went downtown yesterday, I said, where do you want to eat? Let's go. And he said, why don't we eat at Mary Mac's? I said, that sounds so perfect. Today's a perfect day for comfort food. And you know what? Comfort food does comfort you. It was just, I didn't want something exotic yesterday. I wanted something familiar and, what are you looking at?
We done exotic.
I know you know. We go in some restaurants, I look at the menu, I'm like, baby, there ain't nothing on this menu. You kidding? We got to go. my exotic kids, they always like, hey, let's eat it. That's what I'm like, well, I can't bring Ken if we go there because there's nothing on that menu he would eat. But it was, it was comforting just to be in a place like this, and those things do matter. And even driving back to Stone Mountain last night, there was a song I wanted to hear. I just had it on my mind by this gospel singer, Cynthia Clausen, and so I just asked Alexa to play it. Well, she's singing Precious Memories, which knocked me out, followed by Angel Band. Oh, come, Angel Band. I'm like, oh my God. Now I'm really sobbing. Followed by Go Rest High. I'm like, good Lord, I'm going to have to pull over. Like, I can't. Good, Cynthia, you're killing me. That's not, none of those is what I wanted. And yet, driving today, there was something about, I was playing Gaither Homecoming stuff. I'm singing along with, I knew the word to every song between Stone Mountain and here. I said, man, you never forget these lyrics. And I'm just singing along with them. They were singing, the scripture's taken out of context, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. I'm just singing along with it. That's not what that scripture means, but it's a good point about being patient. And something about, I just wanted the comfort of those familiar songs. There's nothing wrong with that. You can rightly divide. Like, there's things I know are not theologically sound, but stop splitting hairs on everything. Some things, it just felt familiar, and it's something that comforts you. And the rod and the staff. When a shepherd carried a rod, it was for guidance and protection, and so was the staff. The staff. The reason it would have a crook like that is, if he needed to grab a sheep by the neck and harness it, you could do that. But you could also hit a wolf with it. It was multi-purpose. And what that says to me is, whatever your image of God is at this point, that thing will give you what you need when you need it. It will. His rod and his staff will comfort you. Do you hear what I'm saying? Yes. And that transcends King James English. It's like, that's not what that's about. It's about, there are things about life that can feel overwhelming, and I need some kind of higher power to make me feel secure that I'm being taken care of and that everything's going to be okay. I've got that. You can't take that away from people. As far, I've taken y'all way out, the shepherd takes the flock out. I've taken y'all to some new places, but I never take you where there's no grass. I'm just not going to do it. I'm always going to make sure you get fed. And the only thing that can really feed you is something that you're familiar with. I ordered turnip greens yesterday, and there was a way they tasted. It felt familiar. It was comforting. But that's symbolic of what the rod and the staff are for you emotionally, okay? So these are some things I want to share with you. They kind of seem disconnected, but it's all making a point. Here's the first one. Time bends for the one who walks in alignment. You've stopped chasing time, and now time is moving with you. Things happen faster because there's no resistance left. In this reality, the delay was never about timing, it was about frequency. Now that you're aligned, everything accelerates. I love that. I remember even back in the Word of Faith days, Dr. Kenneth Hagin used to always say, if you're willing to stand for it forever, it won't take very long. Yeah. And there's a truth to that. Next thing I want to show you, number 4. I am in love with this sentence. Forgive yourself for not knowing earlier what only time could teach. You feel me on that? You've always had the power to go home. She did. Why didn't you tell her? Because she wouldn't have believed me. She had to learn it for herself. And that is true. There's some things that only time can teach you. I was looking Christmas night. Jonah and Sophie came over and they had the baby. She's such a good baby and so sweet. And so is his grandbaby, Henry. He's adorable. He's got a really cute personality. We've both been blessed this year with great grandchildren. Not with great grandchildren, with great. We're not that old. But I was looking at, Jonah and Sophie are great parents. I found this picture on Don's page. I don't know where Don got all these pictures, but so many of the even pictures I have of my kids came from him because he archived everything. And I found this one picture, I posted it. I doubt you have it, but it was me. I hadn't seen it, and I cropped it a certain way. It was me holding Christina, and it looked so much like Jonah, except I had a lot of hair. But otherwise, it looks just like Jonah. And so I sent him, I said, DNA is a trip. And he said, man, we are twinning on that. I said, I know. And I actually was going to go to AI and see what I would look like bald, because that's exactly what he looks like now. But I'm looking at them, and she's a good baby, but they're also up a lot with her. Even when you got a good baby, no baby totally sleeps through the night. And, I was looking at how tired they looked. And, when I see soon-to-be parents, I think there's nothing I can tell you that's going to prepare you for what's about to happen. And it's wonderful, and it's worth it. But it's a lot. And that's just something that time will show you. One of many lessons. Next one. And if it doesn't happen how you wanted, it will happen in a better way than you could have ever imagined. And sometimes you don't know that until that happens for you a few times. How many times has something happened that you thought was a disappointment, but later you thought, you know what, if I'm honest about it, that actually was better. That actually worked out better than what I wanted. He is able to do exceeding abundantly above all you ask or think, according to the power that works in you. And the power that works in you is to believe, well, if that one didn't work out like I wanted it, it'll just mean that something is better. Something better is coming.
Christmas party.
What?
A Christmas party.
Perfect example. Perfect example. If you didn't hear what she said, she's the Christmas party. The way all that came together at the last minute. Oh, and Johnny got a cello this week too, by the way. So thank you for those of you that contributed. And but yes, if I had said back in October, hey, you know what I'd really like this year? I'd like to see if we could get a celebrity chef from the Food Network to come in and cook for us. I'm sure you would have got on it. But you also would have said, Bishop, I don't know that we've got the funds for that. But it all came together with lots of movable parts. Yes, it was Larry and Chandra, but it was miraculously finding a cello for Johnny to play, and I didn't think I was ever going to have him come again. But that worked out, and what are the odds that I found one at where I went to high school? And my friend Ira, that's the band director, we yesterday passed where he used to live, and we went for several years, and I had no contact with him. I didn't know that he was at Decatur. like literally in about 72 hours, all these things came together, not the least of which was your beautiful decoration. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, we have like this amazing Christmas party. This is fantastic on so many levels. But yes, perfect example. Perfect example. Turned out so much better, and we were not stressed about it.
And I want to say that the cleanup was like we had worked together for 5 years.
It's amazing. If you didn't hear what Avery said, she said the cleanup was like we had worked together for 5 years. Yes, that's amazing. I mean, it's amazing that all of that happened. That's a lot of talented, committed people working together to create a memory that really does matter. You know, I mean, I'd already made peace with we weren't going to have one this year, but it did seem kind of sad, you know, like womp womp, you know, like they're going to do a movie about it, The Year Without Christmas. Y'all remember in 2025, we didn't have nothing. It's like a hard candy Christmas, I'm barely getting through. Yes. And those things, grab those memories and hold them to your chest, hold them to your heart, because you need to remember them when you're up against it next week and say, well, you know what? Everything else has worked out. I guess this one will too. You have to allow for that. And sometimes it means just letting go. Just say, well, I don't know how to do this one. Well, it'll work out. Yes, 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 yes. Next. Going from being worried about what might happen to being excited about what might happen is only a mindset shift away. Look, I could say, I don't know what's going to happen. And you would feel the energy of fear in that. I could say, I don't even know what's going to happen. And that opens the door to adventure. They're the same words, two different energies. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's dread. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's, ooh, something's coming. They're the same words, different mindset. And when you get, the valley of the shadow of death will make you start feeling things that you don't need to feel. That's why I appreciate what you said earlier, Eddie. Yes, I do feel optimistic. Very much in touch with, you know. I turned on the news yesterday and I thought, so, we're at war. Our good friend Miguel, who lived 2 doors down from us, from Venezuela, I started to call him and say, I'm sorry, we're at war with y'all. I'm just like, so we're at war with Venezuela now. Okay, let's go have, you know, but yes, it's got to.
2026 could be the best year of all of our lives, or it could be the worst year of all of our lives. But how are we going to face it? I'm going to face it like, my God, it's going to be the best year of my life.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning, baby. The morning always, always comes. And then finally, this may be my favorite one ever. Imagine looking back one day and realizing you were brave enough to chase the life you truly wanted, and it worked. You hear me? That's everything right there. And it takes some time to curate the life that you want. It doesn't happen overnight. You know what? We're approaching a year that we've lived at my house in Smoke Rise. And you know, as soon as we moved in, we hit the ground running. We started doing renovations immediately. Some of them we had to do. You know, I've told you about when, I mean, if somehow when Jared turned the water off, he didn't tell me that he had turned a shower on. So and that hot water heater in the house works real good. So for 11 days, that house was just steam bathed, and you can't believe, I mean, all the hallways, everything was brown streaks, mold everywhere, brown seal. I mean, it was horrible. It forced me to have to start doing things to it that I don't know that I would have done otherwise. When we first moved in, if all that stuff didn't have to be done, I probably would have said, well, we'll get to it eventually. But this was a matter of the ceiling's falling in. And it turned out I actually made money after the insurance paid for it. I actually made some money off of it. And it sort of became a launch pad for us to just like, well, let's just get the whole thing the way we want it. So much so that he's constantly coming up with new ideas, and I'm constantly saying, settle down. He's like, I want to take out that wall. I'm like, would you just give me a minute? But the point is, I was thinking about it, and I don't know, you know, Mom said it could be another 10 years. I'm like, all right. You know what I mean? It's like, I did feel some heart palpitations when she first said it. And I did go upstairs and take an extra, what's the thing that you take for, no, not what's the little pill that you take for your, statin. I did take an extra statin. I was like, I could maybe do that. Yeah. So I got to shut y'all up. Y'all be like, weed? No, that's not what I'm saying. What, you gonna smoke a doobie, Bishop? Like, no, that's not what I did. But then I thought, you know what? If she does, she does. But my point is, I was looking at it this week and I thought, you know, whenever she does go, and I may just go ahead and sell the loft. I don't know. I might. I mean, yesterday I'm over there. I thought I might keep them both. I don't know. But either way, I'll be fine. We'll be great. But I thought, you know, whenever she does go, all of this part's done upstairs. We don't have to. I don't have to deal with her passing and start an immediate project. I'm like, you know, we can live up here until we get downstairs like we wanted. I mean, it's just like, it kind of reminded me, I'm not saying she's an enemy, but I'm saying, you know, when God says to Moses, I'm going to drive your enemies out little by little, because they were inhabiting the land that they were moving into. And they said, you know, if those people are dressing your vineyards and keeping, you know, if they're not there to do it, you'll have to do that all when you get there. And sometimes when something's taking a long time, it may end up being very fortuitous for you later. And think, you know, it's actually worked out better. You understand what I'm saying? But abundant life, listen to me. Jesus said, I came that you might have life and life more abundantly. In the Message Bible, it says, better life than you ever imagined. And that doesn't just happen because you go to an altar and ask Jesus to give you abundant life. Jesus shows you how to curate the life that you want. That becomes the life that's better than you imagine. It doesn't just happen because Jesus said it. It happens because Jesus showed you how to do it. You hear me? Faith without works is dead. If there, you know, if you want to, well, you think about y'all love to travel. That didn't happen overnight. You couldn't do that years ago. When your kids were small, you couldn't do it. Probably didn't have the money for it. It took you a minute to say, one of these days we want to. Anytime we want to go on a cruise, we want to go, and it's nobody's business if we like. because, Howie travels all the time, and he asked me one time, he said, do you think people think I go on too many cruises? I said, what do you care? I mean, it's your money. I mean, you worked hard all those years. If you want to live on a ship, I said, when Mom goes, we're going to be going with you. Ken's never even been on a cruise. I said, we're we may do, you don't know, we might do a meditation weekend.
Exactly.
On a cruise ship, Jesus. It could happen.
That's right. That's right.
But I'm saying it took you a while to curate that life. You don't just say, oh, I paid my tithes and boom. No, there's stuff you have to do and prepare and work for. And if you've worked for it and you're enjoying it now, don't you dare feel guilty about it. Don't you dare. That was your blood, sweat, and tears that made all that happen. Yes, of course God made a way. But if you hadn't participated, nothing would have happened. It's like I've told this so many times, but like the farmer that said he had planted a garden and made his garden grow, and the man said, you didn't grow this garden, God did. He said, yeah. Well, you should have seen what it looked like when God had it all by himself. I mean, the very fact that, whether the Adam and Eve narrative is literal or not, the fact that he puts them in a garden to dress it and to keep it, what the implication is, here's the raw material you have, but you're going to have to use these resources and create abundant life. He could just easily have said, and kind of was saying this, I came that you might know how to curate abundant life. Both of us are in a home stretch right now in our lives, and a lot of you are in our age group. But, he went and talked to, I don't think he'll mind me saying this, but he went and talked to asked about, could I go ahead and retire now? And they were telling him, well, if you did. And he basically realized, I'm probably going to have to work a couple more years. And I said, you know what? It is what it is. Years go fast. You never know. But I said, you're going to have to, if you're going to, you're going to have to get your head around it. And I said, I don't know when my situation's going to change. I said, we're both in kind of a home stretch, but we love the life that we've curated. Yeah. This may not be the life that you want, but you know what? It works for us because where we live now, we're side by side, but we have 2 different bedrooms, and we love it. Because he watches different things on the TV in his room than I watch on mine. Because I'm watching, I'm nearly 24 hours YouTube, The Bulwark. I watch them constantly. That's not his thing. So we're sitting there. I can hear his TV. He can hear mine. And I'm like, hey, do you want to go eat breakfast? So I walked over there and said, we're the only 2 people in the world that are sitting 20 feet from each other, texting, are you hungry? But that's the life we want. I know where you are. If I want to get in that bed with you, I can find you. But I like to sleep with 4 pillows. I like one between my knees, one in my back, I like to build a fortress, and I don't want to be worried that I'm up in your space.
He's laughing because we have those beds that split, we have 2 split mattresses, and I have 16 pillows on my mattress. His mattress over there is flat. My mattress, we got the
But doesn't that make you happy when you get in bed? You're like, I'm in my happy place.
I build my little fort.
Girl.
I roll into it, and I can barely see him. When I'm on it.
I feel you, dog. That's when I'm happy, when I'm like, I got one between my knees, one in my back, this shoulder hurts, so I put one there. I got them all there. And then I want to go to sleep, listen to a podcast. I don't want to deal with iPods, so I've just got it on a little bit of volume so I can just kind of hear it, and I'm kind of interested in it. And I'm like, oh. And he would be, if I did in the bed with him, he'd be like, he wouldn't care. It's just, yeah, we worked really hard. We bought 2 nice, expensive beds since we've been there. And they sit up. When I watch TV, I like to sit mine up. I like to play with that remote control. And I want to do it the way I want to do it. But doesn't that make you happy? And you said, Bishop, is that abundant life? Heck yeah, that's abundant life. But when you can do things that you couldn't have done earlier.
Yes. Our problem is we can't sleep in separate rooms.
Well,
Yeah.
you do what's right for you. But let me tell you what also is a gift from God. I love my loft and I love my view. It has one bathroom. Which is not usually a problem because during the week he's up and out before I even wake up. But now that we have 2 full baths, baby, let me tell you what abundant life is. Closing the door in that bathroom and just say, I can stay in here as long as I want to. And ain't nobody going to be saying, are you about out? That's abundant life. Honestly, that feature alone makes living in the house great. And we've managed for years, and it's fine. But it's just nice to have that option to, take your time, whatever you're doing. And if you don't have it, all right, fine. But Paul said, I've been with it, I've been without it, I've learned whatever state I'm in to be content. But man, it's good to have it. Yeah, I've been without money too, but I can tell you, I've had it and I've not had it. It's kind of better to have it. It's not the end of the world if you don't. Do you hear what I'm saying? Abundant life is not just this miracle that comes out of heaven. It's this thing that you are enabled. In Him you live and move and have your being. I have learned how to create. This is what I want. Yes. Right here. Yes. I clearly remember the day, because we were going to buy that building in Covington. And it already worked it out. The guy had said, it's not going to cost you any more a month. What you're paying in rent, I can do it. I'd like to move this building. And well, I guess it makes sense. And these people have stayed with me and the staff, and I feel obligated to them. And we were about to sign the papers. We were already approved for it. And when I tell this, I never can remember if it was Debbie or Jonah that asked me. Maybe it was both of them. I think it was Jonah said, Dad, do you want to buy this building, honestly? And it just came up out of me. I said, no, I don't want to buy this building. I don't even want to be here anymore. I feel like this season is over. And then Debbie said, what do you want? I said, you know what I want? I want to keep teaching. I feel like I'm going to be doing what I'm doing right now until I check out of here. I mean, I can't imagine me not doing this, even though sometimes it's a hassle. Yesterday, I was like, I don't even think to talk about. But right now I do. And I guarantee you I'll get some message this afternoon. Somebody say, oh my God, you saved my life today. Nobody's ever told me I'm a good preacher. People tell me all the time, you saved my life. I hear that. I hear you saved my life more than any other words. And so I'm always going to be doing this. But I remember saying, no, I don't want to have a staff anymore. I don't want to. I just want to do the parts of ministry that I like. I don't want to do all the stuff of. I don't want to keep building buildings like that. Those aren't the things I signed up for. And I'd like to have something where instead of having a full-time worship leader, that's great. We did it better than anybody's ever done. We raised the bar very high. But I don't want to have to do that and pay somebody's insurance and their spouse's insurance and every Sunday got to think about how we're going to come up with this money to pay all these utilities and stuff. And I just don't want to do that. And I'd like to just have like an artist of the month that would just come in and sing. And they might not even be Christian. They might just be somebody that I like. I just like their talent. I don't need somebody to lead worship. I want somebody bizarre like Chelsea to come in and do, it's something like that. And I remember Debbie said, you should go do that. She says, life's too short at this point for you not to do what you want to do. I said, I don't even want to have a building. I want it like be in a theater with a screen that I can just use for my points. And that's all I want. And you know, if you get honest with yourself, what you have is probably what you ask for. If you want more, you have to ask for more.
You can be content with where you're at the moment.
Absolutely. Like when I look, this is just me, but when I look at some of these people that buy these multi-million-dollar houses, with all, I look at it, I think, good God, that would be a lot to keep up. To me, it's like I wouldn't need the status. I'm like, you better, whoever you're going to leave this house to, they better make a lot of money. Because I read something, somehow I got in a YouTube rabbit hole, and it was these huge houses that have been built all over the world. And there's this one that was built on this island, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's gorgeous, huge house. But the guy that built it died, and there's nobody, it takes us like an army of people to run something that big, and it's just rotting on some island somewhere because there's nobody that can maintain it. That to me doesn't sound like abundant life. That sounds like a colossal pain. I had a swimming pool for years in Covington. It was great. You know how often I swam? Maybe once a year. Once a year we'd have a party for the kids out there. Once in a while I'd sit by the pool. You know how much I paid to keep it going? A lot. Those Polarises that float around and clean it, they're real expensive and they break down constantly. If you want a pool, that's great. Make sure. I had one. I don't want one now. I don't really use the pool. If we're on vacation, I mean, maybe I'll go sit by the pool for a minute, but I'm not. That's not my jam. If that's what you want, more power to you. That to me doesn't sound like. It doesn't. Abundant life to me is streamlined. Abundant life is less stuff to have to deal with. If you want more, then by all means get it. But make sure it's the life that you want, not something you're trying to prove to somebody else.
I always question, why do you want more?
Right.
When this is wonderful.
Right. Absolutely. What is it that Paul wrote to Timothy? He said, godliness with contentment is great gain.
I think that's my favorite scripture.
And it's true.
Godliness.
It's true. Like back in the faith days with so many of these guys, if I offended y'all.
You can't get into heaven acting like that.
All right, that's our signal. Stand up. I can't compete with the Falcons. Let's all stand.
They won the last time I was there, so they're going to win this.
They can win today. God's got you.
Y'all need to get saved. What I was going to say is back in the day when everybody, the faith preachers were all talking about prosperity and stuff, and so much of the stuff they talked about, I thought, I don't mind going to New York and spending some money, and if I want to wear something and buy it or whatever, but as far as all that other stuff just seems like a lot of hassle to maintain all that. What?
When we were in the process of looking at options, it has always struck me that many of them have brick walls like that, and several of them look like that.
You're right.
Like,
You're right. Because I kind of made a vision board of that, yeah.
yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
You're talking about abundant life. I was saying when you was talking about you're in a season there where you can do like this big house. The life is so strange. 5 years from now, both of y'all probably be in a totally different place in life, walking on the streets of Paris, unencumbered by anything to keep you back, and possibly be done sold your loft and your mama's house and living in a 2-bedroom loft with 2 bathrooms downtown somewhere.
Shikamisha. You're right.
Abundant life thing,
You're right.
you know.
You're right. Absolutely.
And everything paid in full.
Yeah. And a little extra money in your pocket. Go over to London for a few days if you want to.
If you want to.
If you want to.
And
Eddie,
not
you're like a
walking
prophet
not walking
today.
on a cane.
Because
No
I'm telling
pain in
you,
your body. Able to see clearly. Shoulders are fine.
Brushing my teeth with Voltaren.
Yeah. Able to see it before you put it on.
But yes,
the 70s that you and Kim haven't got to yet is the new 40s.
Yeah.
It ain't about sitting on the back porch and waiting for the death angel to come. It's about getting out and living life.
I speak that for all of us.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Come on.
All of us.
Abundant life.
Abundant life.
Abundant life. Has no age or no time limit.
Has no age, no time limit. Come on. This is what you have created.
Now hurry up, bud. The saints are about to start playing.
wow.
This is the life you have saved. More than leaving the earth.
Yeah.
It's creating what you just spoke, what you just spoke.
Yeah.
Teaching us to do that.
Abundant life.
Yeah.
Whew. Jesus is all up in this little theater today. Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost.
More than here.
Yeah. Yeah. Selah. Y'all know what to do about giving. Go in peace. Go live your abundant life. Go create the life you want. Walk in the Spirit. Go create a wonderful...
Abundant life. He ain't told y'all, he got a little girlfriend.
Don't be telling
He's
tales.
got a little fire lit in.
Jesus, help us. We had the anointing there for a minute.